got a lot of pushback from my own team, actually, here in Hollywood, when I said, okay, I'm going to do this year of health. I feel like I'm really going to physically transform and change my life.
Rebel Wilson may be best known as Pitch Perfect's scene-stealing Fat Amy to much of the world, but she has been rocking her uniquely infectious rebeliciousness since way back. She's as confident as she is funny, as daring as she is down-to-earth, and as raucous as she is earnest. And as she deadpans brilliantly with just the slightest flicker of a smile, she's decidedly won over the hearts of fans worldwide. But while she may be jet-setting to Ibiza and cherry-picking her projects in Hollywood these days, her road to success hasn't always been a smooth one. There was the canceled show, there were the doubters, there was that one relationship that didn't last. But as one of the hardest-working triple-threat performers in show business, Rebel Wilson proves that nothing's gonna slow her down. Let's let Wilson set the tone as we dive into this fierce Aussie's stunning transformation. Rebel Wilson was a shy little girl, born on March 2nd, 1980, in Sydney, Australia. The western side, the ghetto side, she jokes. Rebel Wilson grew up with her siblings Liberty, Anachi, and Riot, under the loving care of her parents, who were professional beagle breeders. Despite her humorous potential, the budding starlet was far from outgoing. I was so unusually shy, bordering on a social disorder, so my mum, one day she drives me to this community acting class. I was holding on to the car door and crying. She had to peel me off the car. She's like, "I'll pick you up in 2 hours." And she left me, Wilson recalled in Marie Claire. As for her comedic talent, Wilson playfully speculates on its origins. "My family reckons I'm not funny at all. They think they're all funnier. And I'm like, what professional comedy have you done?" She laughed in an interview with Image. Rebel Wilson came out of her shell. The once timid little girl developed her signature Rebel Wilson confidence early on. Determined to shape her personality while still young, Wilson took a proactive approach. "After reading that one's character becomes set in stone at age 15, I decided I better get a personality before it was too late," she shared. This realization led her to join debate clubs and push herself to speak up more, as she revealed in a February 2016 publication. "I was socially awkward in high school, but my drama teacher, Mrs. Bowmaker, encouraged me to enter the Tournament of Minds, an Aussie creative competition featuring different segments like performing and improvising. I came out of my shell, and if it weren't for her, I don't think I'd be where I am today," Wilson told Glamour. According to her, she had just barely made her character-building deadline at the age of 14. Rebel Wilson, teen feminist. "I went to an all-girls Christian high school where we were very much encouraged to go after the career we wanted, to go out into the world, pursue our dreams, and live life to the fullest," Rebel Wilson shared in a 2016 interview with Flair. She added, "I feel lucky to be living in a time when girls can do that, and you can be single and still have an awesome life." Reflecting on her early aspirations, Wilson noted, "I think the saddest thing in the world is seeing a woman who is really smart and a go-getter, but then gets married too young or has kids too young and doesn't fully pursue her dreams." Determined to follow her own path, Wilson was about to become a household name, proving that chasing one's dreams and achieving success on her own terms was possible. Rebel Wilson had a fevered glimpse of the future. In 1997, at the age of 17, Rebel Wilson joined Australia's Rotary International Youth Ambassador Program, spending a year traveling and working. During one of the program's trips to South Africa, she contracted malaria and experienced a fever-induced hallucination about winning an Oscar. This surreal episode sparked her interest in acting. Upon returning to Australia, Wilson enrolled at the University of New South Wales and the Australian Theatre for Young People, where she began to hone her stage skills. Initially, she didn't set out to be a comedian. Reflecting on her early experiences, she told the New York Times, "I thought I was playing a serious stage role, but when I came on, people just started laughing. I got visibly quite angry that people were laughing at me, and then people would laugh more." She continued, I thought fat is funny in a weird way, or even in a scientific way. People find it easier to laugh at bigger girls, and I thought that's going to be my game plan. This realization became her lucky calling card in Hollywood, turning her unique approach to comedy into a successful career. Rebel Wilson jumped across the pond. Actors who normally come from Australia to America are usually dramatic, Rebel Wilson remarked in an interview with Hunger TV. I think I'm one of the first comedy actors from Australia to bring my own style here, so that's a bit different. Having already found success back home with breakout roles in Pizza, 2000, and Bogan Pride, 2008, Wilson moved to West Hollywood in 2010 at 30 years old, with the odds stacked against her. No one thought I would be a feature film actress crushing it around the world. But I beat the odds and have achieved so much, she said. Since making her mark in Hollywood, Wilson may have made a home in the U.S., but she hasn't opted to become a citizen. Joking on the Ellen DeGeneres show, she acknowledged, I think I would be a good candidate because I'm really good at eating hot dogs. Really good at, going to theme parks, doing all the American stuff. Despite not being a citizen, she doesn't shy away from sharing her opinions. In 2015, she tweeted, I don't like getting political, but America, you really have to follow Australia's example regarding gun laws. Rebel Wilson broke into Hollywood. Being unique and different was a really good thing, Rebel Wilson shared with Cosmopolitan. When I walked into my agent's office for the first time, they looked at me and said, wow, we have nobody on our books like you. And they signed me on my second day in the U.S. Shortly after signing with talent house William Morris Endeavour in 2010, the 30-year-old Australian transplant landed her breakout role, Kristen Wiig's roommate Bryn in the 2011 comedy Bridesmaids. Refreshingly atypical for a rising Hollywood star, Wilson told the magazine, I wouldn't ever want to compete with what I call the glamours, the really gorgeous people. I'm about the brain, the heart, and what's on the inside. I feel really lucky to be the body type I am. America was just about to discover who she really was. Rebel Wilson overhauled her diet. Kinda. Normally, I'm the girl who doesn't give us a rage what she looks like, Rebel Wilson claimed. But because I'm in the public eye, I have to try a little bit. After 7 years of living in Southern California, the comedy queen affirmed, living in L.A., you learn a lot about health. I now drink green juices and I'm trying to do gluten-free. But I don't do it 100%. I'm not a maniac. She continued, I love me some ice cream or dessert, and it comes at times when I'm happy or sad. So when I have an incredibly successful day, I want to celebrate and reward myself with food. If I've had a sad or stressful day, food is also comfort. This is a substantial transformation compared to the trashy frozen pizzas of her youth. While she has portrayed a raging party girl on screen, her real life is often flecked with speculation about her weight. Reports of flaunting her weight loss seem to pop up daily. But Wilson isn't focused on some elusive, perfect body. She's got her eyes set on her goals. The odds of an Australian girl making it in Hollywood is like 1 in 25 million, Wilson calculated. I'm lucky, but I also think I worked hard. I deserve it. Rebel Wilson's whirlwind romance. Admittedly private about her personal life then, 35-year-old Rebel Wilson's fans were abuzz when she posted now-deleted selfies with her boyfriend, filmmaker Mickey Gooch Jr., confirming their relationship in May 2015. Rebel Wilson is off the market, Bella B. has, Us Weekly declared, reporting that the pair were spotted together in L.A., NYC, and Ibiza. However, the couple split just 4 months later, even as Gooch was filming scenes for Wilson's movie How to Be Single, 2016, where he played her date. Despite the breakup, Wilson wasn't on the hunt for a rebound. She shared with Cosmopolitan, I'm very independent and have been single for most of my life. I see people who are very codependent, and I think they're missing out on life. My mom really sacrificed her life when she started having us kids, And so she always encouraged us to go out there and chase after our dreams and live our lives. She continued, I'm hoping the right guy will come along, but if it doesn't happen, I'm all right. I'm a very independent lady and I've got my own stuff going on. And indeed, she has a lot going on. Rebel Wilson developed a clothing line and had an ego boost. I'm currently a size 18, sometimes a 16, depending on how good I've been, so I'm just a bit too big for most regular clothing, Rebel Wilson shared with People. In November 2015, at 35, Wilson launched a collaboration with plus-size brand Torrid, offering fans and fashionistas a taste of her signature style. Initially unsure of her prospects, Wilson told E! News, I didn't think I'd be able to design clothes. I thought, that's not in my repertoire. But it turns out it was. Finally comfortable in her own designs, Wilson's line is about more than just great style. Sharing her inspiration with InStyle, she said, I want people to be a rebel in their own lives. I've always been a nonconformist. That's actually what my high school principal wrote in my final school report. I never just accepted things as they were, especially if they were unfair. I want this energy to rub off on other people and encourage girls and women out there to go out and crush it in their lives. Rebel Wilson became truly famous. That's life now, Rebel Wilson reflects. You can spend time with family or friends in a very low-key situation, or you can be on a private jet flying somewhere to introduce Miley Cyrus. But despite her glamorous lifestyle, Wilson insists she's still the same woman underneath it all. Even though, yes, now I am in movies or whatever, I am still that dorky girl. People think you're really confident because you're an actress or whatever, but I'm like the worst, she confessed to Cosmopolitan. Wilson fondly recalls her humble beginnings working at an Australian movie theater when her first film, Fat Pizza, debuted in 2003 when she was 23 years old. Sharing with Seth Meyers, she joked, when people were leaving the cinema, I'd be there holding the trash bag, and they'd be like, hey, weren't you in that movie? And I'd be like, yeah. A week later, I had to quit. Despite her megastar status, Wilson remains grounded and connected to her roots. She supports a Tanzanian school in Africa where she once lived as a youth ambassador, and she funds scholarships for the Australian Theatre for Young People, which provided her with her initial start. Having previously received a scholarship funded by Nicole Kidman to study at Chicago's Second City, Wilson is committed to paying it forward and making the most out of her success. Rebel Wilson is not about nudity. Rebel Wilson, a successful star known for her comedic prowess, maintains a firm stance when it comes to on-screen nudity. Reflecting on her experience filming The Brothers Grimsby, Wilson revealed, they wanted full frontal nudity. We wrote in the contract specifically, no nudity. They brought in another girl, a larger burlesque dancer from South Africa, to serve as a nude double, and they had her do all these things. Sacha Baron Cohen would say, see, she looks good. But I refused. I don't care what anyone says, Wilson, then 35, shared in an interview with Marie Claire. It's important to know that the people behind the camera have a certain sensibility and decency, and often in comedy, those qualities are lacking. Wilson openly discusses how she intentionally gained weight to land funnier roles, saying, I saw my size as an advantage, whereas many women see it as a disadvantage. Yet her true genius lies in her wit. Resolute in the face of Hollywood pressures, she said, I've always relied on my intellect to succeed. Judging by her impressive resume, it's clear she's done just that. Rebel Wilson's got her nose to the grindstone. As she geared up for the second installment of her wildly successful Pitch Perfect franchise in 2015, Rebel Wilson revealed her quirky methods for perfecting her American accent. I really want a genuine American accent, so I watch shows like Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I've been watching a lot of Honey Boo Boo. I actually watch them and repeat what they say, she shared on Conan. But her preparation didn't stop at dialects. I got a personal trainer, she admitted. Not to look great or anything, but to have the energy for all the producing and acting work. People might not think it to look at me, but I can exercise. Despite her curvier physique compared to many in Hollywood, Wilson prioritizes her physical health. Speaking to LUK, she emphasized, "You need to be physically strong for this job. I like having the stamina to work 16-hour days. I might eat a lot, but I'm very health conscious." Wilson's commitment to authenticity extended to her role in Pitch Perfect 2, where she performed all her own aerial stunts, despite her fear of heights. Reflecting on the experience with the Los Angeles Times, she said, "I stretched every day to prepare for the stunts. I'm scared of heights, so I told them, I'll do it 3 times. I'll nail it, so get all your cameras ready." And I did. Rebel Wilson has her pride. Rebel Wilson faced criticism for declining to present a 2015 MTV VMA award alongside Kendall and Kylie Jenner. Speaking candidly on Australia's KIIS-FM, she explained, "I was asked to present with Kendall and Kylie at the recent VMAs and said no. It's not about hating them individually, but their values don't align with mine. They're not famous for talent, and everything they stand for goes against what I stand for. I've worked really hard to achieve where I am." With a law degree under her belt, Wilson used her legal acumen early in her career to negotiate contracts. Her impressive accolades, including multiple MTV Movie Awards, Glamour's International Woman of the Year, and LA's Australians in Film Award, underscore her determination. Addressing the radio hosts, she remarked, "I mean, Kim Kardashian got famous from a sex tape, and I went to acting school and put in the work." Wilson ultimately presented the award solo, proving that persistence pays off when you're Rebel Wilson. Rebel Wilson was happy living that single life. Despite seeing many of her childhood friends and even her sister tie the knot, Rebel Wilson, like many successful actresses, faces persistent questions about her relationship status. However, she revealed to Flair in 2016, "Interestingly enough, I caught up with some of my girlfriends from high school when I was back in Australia, and a lot of them weren't very happy with their situations and were envious of mine. I'm definitely not lonely in any way. I love being by myself." While she enjoys solo vacations on a whim, she does express some nostalgia for potential changes in the future. Reflecting in the magazine, she said, "I don't think I'll be getting anything this Valentine's Day. But there was a line in this movie, The Diary of a Teenage Girl, where the main character goes, 'I wonder if anybody loves me who I don't know about.' And I was like, that's interesting. You never know. On Valentine's Day, you could get sent something." Rebel Wilson, the boss lady in the boys' club. "I feel incredibly fortunate to be a woman working in Hollywood comedy right now," Rebel Wilson emphasized. "With more writers getting the chance to create these scripts, the humor is becoming edgier. Women are often relegated to being just the love interest in male-centric movies, which is such a waste." Drawing inspiration from legendary comedians, Wilson reflected, "As a teenager, instead of studying, I'd watch Ab Fab. Jennifer Saunders was the first woman I saw on TV who wrote and performed her own material," she shared with Marie Claire. While currently taking a page from Saunders' book and developing her own projects, Wilson acknowledges the challenges of being a woman in a male-dominated industry. "I navigate between 2 types of jobs," she explained to Elle. "Dream roles in female-driven comedies and the other roles, which are essentially part of the boys' club, where you're not paid much, not given great jokes, and often just there to support the male actor. In those situations, as a woman, you have to work harder, sharpen your skills more. You need to be 2 or 3 times as good as the guys. I go in there and give it my all, aiming to excel. Rebel Wilson's gonna keep hustling." Before the release of Pitch Perfect 3 in 2017, Rebel Wilson was already looking forward to expanding her repertoire with more female-driven projects. The dynamic actress expressed her enthusiasm for potentially exploring feature-length dramas, stating in Glamour, I've been receiving offers for more serious roles, and as an actor trained in both comedy and drama, I look to icons like Robin Williams, who seamlessly transitioned between genres. I believe there's something exciting on the horizon. No matter what acting endeavors Rebel Wilson pursues next, they are bound to bear her distinctive mark. With her genuine confidence, sharp wit, and unique spirited personality, Wilson continues to carve out her path in Hollywood, inviting us all to join her on this exhilarating journey of success. Rebel Wilson decided she needed to class it up a bit. Before becoming a prominent Hollywood celebrity, Rebel Wilson never concerned herself much with fashion. She attributed this to the fact that her success was based more on her intellect and creativity than her appearance. "I never got anywhere because of my looks," she candidly shared with InStyle. "I succeeded because of my brain and imagination. It was only after moving to the States that I realized people pay attention to what I wear. So I started thinking about dressing up a bit more." Wilson's upbringing also played a role in her relaxed attitude towards fashion and beauty. Raised in a family where building a wardrobe or focusing on appearances wasn't a priority, she adopted a similar mindset. "I didn't even get my nails done until I was 25, she revealed. "It took my best friend Nick pointing out one day, 'You might want to do something about your nails,' for me to realize I should visit a nail salon. Now, I'm hooked on it." Rebel Wilson stood up for herself against an Australian media company. Dealing with tabloids and paparazzi comes with the territory for celebrities in America. However, when German company Bauer Media published articles in Women's Day accusing Rebel Wilson of lying about her name, childhood, and age, the actress took a stand. Wilson filed a defamation lawsuit against the media company in 2017, claiming the articles had damaged her reputation and caused her to miss out on lucrative roles. Initially awarded $3.6 million in damages, the payout was later reduced to $436,000 on appeal due to insufficient evidence linking the articles directly to lost opportunities. Despite the reduced amount, Wilson viewed the outcome positively, seeing it as a victory against bullying. In a tweet, she expressed her pride in standing up for herself, stating, "I have been determined to stand up to a bully, and I am proud of myself for doing so. I am proud of this victory and all of the hard fight." Rebel Wilson was proud to be a plus-sized woman playing the lead in a rom-com. In 2019, Rebel Wilson celebrated a significant milestone by starring in the rom-com fantasy Isn't It Romantic, alongside Liam Hemsworth and Adam Devine. On the Ellen DeGeneres show, she proudly declared herself the first ever plus-sized girl to be the star of a romantic comedy. While she later acknowledged her error, Queen Latifah and Monique had previously led rom-com films. Wilson highlighted the ongoing scarcity of roles for larger women in such genres, making her achievement noteworthy. Beyond her starring role, Wilson earned her first producer credit with Isn't It Romantic, marking a pivotal step in her career. Speaking to The Hollywood Reporter, she expressed newfound enthusiasm for producing, a passion she carried forward into her next project, The Hustle. Rebel Wilson always knew she'd be rich one day. If there's one thing about Rebel Wilson that hasn't changed over the years, in spite of her extraordinary success, it's her work ethic. Beyond her acting and producing roles, she has ventured into fashion with her own line of clothing and shoes, driven by a deep-seated desire for financial security rooted in her humble beginnings. Reflecting on her journey in an interview with InStyle, she shared, "I always wanted to make something of myself." And indeed, she has achieved that goal in abundance. Despite not starting with wealth, Wilson's childhood belief in her future prosperity has guided her. "Weirdly, I always believed I would be rich and successful even as a very young child, and I would say that to people," she noted. "If you manifest what you want, I really do think it comes true." Rebel Wilson was thrilled to join the cast of Cats. Rebel Wilson's work ethic has remained steadfast, but her confidence has blossomed significantly over the years, largely thanks to her commitment to nurturing her creativity. Reflecting on this evolution in an interview with InStyle, she explained, "You can get a lot of confidence through creative arts, and that's definitely why I was drawn to it in the first place. It was a way of expression, not because I wanted to be famous or wanted to be somebody else." Despite her initial motivations, Wilson acknowledges the advantages of fame, especially evident when she landed a role in the 2019 film Cats. Recalling her excitement, she shared, "Also, in high school musicals I was never cast as the lead, and then last week, when I was on set for Cats, I was like, I'm in motherfucking Cats. I'm singing for Andrew Lloyd Webber." Rebel Wilson declared that 2020 would be the year of health. Over the years, Rebel Wilson has passionately advocated for body positivity, particularly for plus-size women, recognizing her role as a role model in this regard. In an interview with the Associated Press, she emphasized the pressures faced by women, especially younger ones, to conform to thin body ideals. "Not everyone can fit that mold, and no one should feel ashamed or endure bullying because of their size and shape," she asserted. Despite her advocacy, Wilson has also been open about her own journey with body image and health. In 2020, she shared a glimpse of her slimmer figure on social media and announced her commitment to prioritize her health. "Okay, so for me, 2020 is going to be called the Year of Health," she declared on Instagram. "So I put on the athleisure and went out for a walk, consciously hydrating and trying to steer clear of sugar and junk food post-holiday indulgence. It's going to be tough, but I'm determined." She lost 60 pounds after her year of health, with diet and workouts. 3 months after releasing her memoir, Rebel Wilson reflects on her transformative health journey. "There's no magic fix. I'd been on diets and exercise consistently my entire life," Rebel shared with Us Weekly. "For me, it was confronting the emotional side that I had ignored. I used to think, emotions, I don't want to deal with that." Opening up about her health in her book, Rebel Rising, released in April and quickly became a New York Times bestseller. "The audiobook has been a huge success too," she added. Rebel also disclosed earlier that she used Ozempic, a diabetes drug often used off-label for weight loss, to help reach her goal weight of 165 pounds after shedding nearly 80 pounds. Her lifestyle changes have brought her genuine happiness. "I'm really proud of where I am in life and what I've accomplished," Rebel said. "Being open about everything has been cathartic, and now I'm looking forward to the next chapters." As Rebel Wilson continues to thrive in her career and personal journey, her commitment to health and self-discovery remains inspiring. From conquering Hollywood with her comedic prowess to transforming her lifestyle and sharing her journey in Rebel Rising, she exemplifies resilience and authenticity. What do you find most inspiring about Rebel Wilson's transformation? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates on Rebel Wilson's remarkable journey and other inspiring stories of transformation.